Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Hello, people. Hello, and welcome back, people. Welcome to Adventures with Truth. I'm V, and I'm coming in a day later. God damn, this is just the start of the year, and we are already late on this episode. hmm I guess procrastination never really leaves a true monkey. A lot has happened. It's the new year. It's about We're about 7 days, 8 days into the 2024. A lot of things have happened. Some of the more prominent topics I would say are the Maldives and the Lakshadweep situation that's going on. Bunch of lunatics, crazy people doing crazy shit in that country. China is playing a role, of course. So yeah, Maldives situation is going on. What else is going on? Oh yeah, did you see? Japan got hit. They got hit bad. A lot of crazy earthquakes. On top of that, there was a plane collision. And speaking of planes, a flight in Alaska by Alaska Air, and yeah, during mid-flight, while the plane was in the air, one of the doors blew off. That's what's up. So that happened. Truckers' protest is still going on. It has been shut down in some places, but it's about to get started in some other places. Arguably, Karnataka is one of them. hmm And just for the reference, there's nothing going on the screen right now. I'm just looking to make sure the audio is coming in fine. There's not a notepad that I have open, any kind of document which I can refer to. This show is purely a string of my consciousness. Things as I'm seeing it, as I'm interpreting it, talking about the truths I'm finding in those situations and the adventures that I'm getting inspired by. hmm So yeah, that's that. Yeah, these are the four big things I would say that has happened, and it's not even what 2 weeks yet. So let's talk about it one by one, break it down. Yeah, let's go on an adventure about the truths of some of these situations, or the truth as I see in this situation. Go on an adventure, just like Mr. Modi went, or PM Modi went on an adventure. He was enjoying the coastline of India, enjoying and having fun in the Lakshadweep territory, the Union territory. hmm I mean, I don't think he was per se on a vacation, but even if he was, man, everybody needs a vacation from your job, from your day-to-day life, all the responsibilities you have. Sometimes it's good to treat yourself. It's good to catch a break, you know, go on a break. I'm just back from my break, from my vacation, and shit, man, I already want to go on next one. Friend of mine was already, planning the next one. We could go here and there, and I said, "Calm down, girl. Calm down, sister. I'm broke for now." So yeah, gotta make some moolah to make the kula vlogs. For that, yeah, it's funny. Vlogging is a kind of a situation, or I would say line of work people can pursue, but it's weird. It's one of those line of work where you actually need the money to invest to get into your journey, start a vlogging channel and everything. Yeah, or you could just spend your entire life in politics, hope that one day you'll get lucky. Maybe you'll be in a position where then you can go on expenses with other government employees, making sure you're okay. Maybe even go on vacations using the taxpayers' money. Because usually we, the normal people, the common man, आज़ाद देश के आम नागरिक, we have to spend our own money and get heavily taxed while earning that money and then while spending that money. And then whatever we have left, we might still have to pay some taxes on that. So wouldn't it be better to just go on the taxpayers' money's vacation? Now I'm not, taking a shot at Mr. Modi about all these things because I know it was not actually a vacation. See, a lot of people think that, especially the radical people, crazy buffoons who are not paying any attention to the facts, who are just trying to set their narrative out in the world. These people are not just paying attention to all the facts, or maybe they know all the facts and they are still choosing to portray truth in a way that sends the wrong message. Yeah, there are a lot of ways that in which one can go on an adventure with truth, or one can even manipulate the information. Recently I was watching something. I think there's a new bill or law being proposed in the US where they have these three categories of information, propaganda, and everything, setting narratives. And so they're trying to come up with the rules that which way they can punish people, get them back, get revenge on them, or rather control them. That's the ultimate goal. So under this provision, there are three things. First is your disinformation. So disinformation, as some people might call it, is basically information that is wrong. Or maybe it's information which is being spread with an ulterior motive. That's what's up. But on top of that, then you have something which is called misinformation, which is essentially the truth has been muddled by a lot of jargon, a lot of situation or things which might not be true. As they say, the best lies are the ones which are hidden within the truths. So at first glance, you don't even get to notice them. They're just right there, right in front of you. Taking a blanket or a shawl, wearing a bandana of truth. But that's what those lies are doing. Those sneaky motherfuckers. Those sneaky facts. And then there is malinformation. Now, malinformation is the information which is true, but it is being spread to get people against the government. And that's where I think it gets slippery. That's where it gets draconian. That's some place where you can see the malintent of these people. Because a truth is the truth. The truth shall set you free, even if you are not ready for it. That's the nature of truth. So I think people actually have a right to, express themselves. Freedom of speech is never lost on me. I hold it close to my heart, of course. But if you're telling the truth is the truth. Now, whether it is gonna hurt the government, it's gonna take away their control or not, that's for people to decide. People can choose how to go on the adventure, their own respective adventures with the truth. But who are we to say anything? I think people's job, or media personalities, public figures, governments, intellectuals, their job is not to manage or essentially tell people how you should do something with this tool that we are providing you with. It's completely up to you. It's a free world, allegedly. Although I just seem to find less and less things which are actually free in this world. Or is anything free? Because some people even say nothing comes free. So maybe we should actually get used to paying for shit. Paying for our vacations. Going to Lakshadweep. Because fuck Maldives. And now let's, get into the backstory of this whole Maldives and Lakshadweep situation that's going on. So, I mean, I don't know how many people are aware of it or not, but there is an anti India sentiment that's been going on in the Maldivian society for about 5-6 years now. Yep, it has been going on, and people are just, trying to take advantage of it. Everybody is trying to find their own incentive from it. What can we gain from this situation? Politicians are doing their thing, business people, intellectuals, shrewd economists, manipulators. These people are doing their own thing, trying to make some moolah out of it. So yeah, now this sentiment essentially it's not actually new. It didn't start in 2023 when they had their election, or even 1 or 2 years before. Actually, it has been going on since 2018. That's what's up. Because there are essentially two leading parties in Maldives. One is the so-called Progressive Party. We know how these so-called pseudo-progressives go. We've seen them in India. These bloody idiots. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I am using harsh language, but they are essentially idiots. And these idiots, of course, they don't live in reality. They live in their own head. And they have a bunch of acquired beliefs which they have not thought about, things they have not processed yet, information they are not even aware of. They're not even aware of the information or even its existence. So how are they even gonna try to seek it if they were ever doing such a thing? So among these two parties, one is the Progressive Party and another is, I think, the, what do you call it? Essentially it's the People's Party, which is the somewhat of a right bent situation, and the others are left. But when it's convenient, even the Progressive Party, they are trying to please the people on the right. So everything is, bang in the middle, left, right. They're playing chakkas on it, baby. Yeah, that's what's up. They're neither here nor there. Because if you, go far enough right, you'll come left. Eventually, these crazy ideologies and beliefs, they do meet at a certain point. And so this party, anyways, before I digress further, the Progressive Party had lost the election in 2018. The opposition leader was not even in the country. The then president had brought up charges on him of corruption and everything, so he was hiding in, I think he is still hiding in, Sri Lanka, Colombo probably. So when the other party, which is the traditional party, Liberation Party, essentially, the party of Ibrahim Soli, if you're aware of the name, they won in 2018. And so they started the politics of revenge, tried to get the other guy who had been, president by then. They got him on corruption charges. He's spending 11 years in jail, so he's not going to be running. So both of these leaders of the respective parties, of course, were, rightfully or wrongfully accused of corruption charges. And so one was in jail, one was in hiding, and they had both installed their placeholders. And Ibrahim Soli was one placeholder, and I think the current president, Mohammed Mizu, Pizu, I don't know, some weird ass name. And yeah, that guy is the placeholder for the leader of the Progressive Party. So now, of course, in 2018 they won again. So they started the charges on this other guy, and now that other guy's party has won. And the reason they won is actually very similar to the way Congress is doing things in India. Because Congress is playing on the minorities game, and BJP is playing on the development and infrastructure and unity game, right? We are all one, everything. even if you subscribe to different religions, nobody hates progress. Nobody hates progress. Well, some stupid people in some certain stupid religions do believe that progress is not good, and I'm not gonna name names. Of course not. Not yet. That's our topic for some other podcast, some other episode. So these guys won this time. And how they won? Well, they used basically Congress's handbook. They said that, India is not our friend, although they have been our biggest partner 30 years, but nobody was paying attention to that fact. They said India is not our friends, and the way they are treating minorities in their country, the way they are treating Muslims in their country, is not, gonna sit well with us. And Maldives is actually a Muslim country. About 95-98% people subscribe to Islam. So they said, our brothers in India and everything, they are going through hell. They are being discriminated against. Policies are hurting them. So we should not just, be friends with them. Instead, we should be friends with China. We should be pro-China. Now that's funny, because as I said, people don't even know the truth. The followers of this party don't even know that in China there are actual literal concentration camps where they do things to Muslim people very similar to the ones that Hitler was doing to Jewish people. Now it's not as bad, but still they have like a mini or micro version of Auschwitz going on in China. People say they're not killing, they're just changing their culture by force, but I'm sure there's a lot of killing going on in those concentration camps. And those, of course, poor Uyghur Muslims are suffering. But who's talking facts, right? Especially not in Maldives. I don't think anybody is talking facts. So they won based on this pro-Muslim, anti-India propaganda, which is actually contrary to each other. But we are not even gonna go there. Because I don't think these stupid people would even understand that argument. So we'll let them be. Anyway, so this guy who's pro-China, he's anti-India, and he was, doing these political propaganda stunts using China, of course, because they are pretty good at propaganda. Just look at the way they hid the information that China came from, like the COVID virus came from a lab in China, in Wuhan, which was doing research which was then indirectly sanctioned by the United States. And think about the propaganda they had. For months and months, people they kept saying, oh, it came from this market. Yeah. An armadillo fucked a baby goat. And the unholy child is how you got corona. Then they came to bats. But still, if you go into China, I don't think you can say that, oh shit, this entire thing that fucked the world up, killed, I don't know, hundreds of millions of people, destroyed the economy, destroyed families and everything. That came from a lab in this country. I don't think Chinese people can say that. They ain't got the power. They say it and they disappear just like that. So yeah, China is pretty good at propaganda. They might not be good at being great human beings. They might not be as aware or as educated as they would have us believe. And of course, we know they ain't got no integrity. They ain't got no integrity over there. So yeah, China used all these tricks to influence the politics in Maldives and got this guy, Muizu, elected. Now, of course, why does China want it? Because China is looking to set up another naval and army base in the Indian Ocean so that they can, complete their string of pearls and surround India. We are also trying to do something similar. We are trying to make a string of diamonds. And so, China has a naval base in Maldives, but so does India, right? When in 2018 pro-Indian government came, we allowed them, rather we discussed some things with them, and they allowed us to set up a naval base. They allowed some of our countries to develop residents there. We're building houses. Tata is one. I think Akon is another company, which are also like big trade partners in Maldives. And yeah, so these things keep changing. The moment they have pro India government, Indian businessmen are investing there, they are doing development. The moment China comes there, they're doing their shenanigans. Now, of course, Maldives people might not be smart enough to realize that India is only one of the countries which often has the, in most sense, the best interest of our as well as our friends or our allies, neighbors, which is why we have been their biggest trade partners since forever 30 years, 40 years. And funny, even, when China, China's coronavirus was fucking up the world, India was the one who actually donated 250 fucking $1 million to Maldives. That's what's up. That's what's up. The virus fucking came from China, got into Maldives as it did into so many other countries, almost every country in the world, and still we were the ones paying them to get out of China's bullshit. And still today, government and people are, pro China. One might say people who subscribe to any ideology without thinking about it are not the people who can be, expected. We cannot expect them to make sound decisions. We cannot expect them to think things through. Right? So, of course, what do you even tell these people? Not to mention the billions of dollars we have given them in aid and on credit. So, yeah, so they did this shit. But that's the background. It's not even the whole thing. So, the fireworks started when some of their sitting ministers, like one minister I remember was Mariam Shui. I don't know. I don't even remember her name exactly. So we'll call her based on her actions. And she has acted like a dumb bitch. Not like a dumb bitch, but a bloody dumb cunt. That's what's up. So this Mariam, bloody cunt, tweeted something, something of the notion that, oh, Modi is this, he's a puppet of Israel or whatnot, and you guys all in India are eating laddus of govers and cow dungs, something of that nature. Yeah, I mean, just can you even believe the audacity of this dumb cunt? Fuck this bitch, stupid bitch. I see her in the streets, I'd fucking kick her in the head. And when she's down, I'd kick her again. Yeah. Hypothetically, of course, I do not recommend violence unless it's self defense. Yeah, so that's that. So she did this tweet, and of course, things got crazy. It got picked up by media, and now Bollywood stars are retaliating. They're saying, oh, fuck Maldives. We are the reason Maldives is actually getting so much attention. Like, Indians is the, I would say, biggest demographic which goes to visit Maldives for vacations. About, I think, 15% of entire, foreign tourists that Maldives get are Indian. I mean, everybody knows भाई, देसी बंदे को घूमना है और कमज़ोर बंदों को तो बीचों पे ही जाना है. Bitches go to beaches. Men hang out in the mountains. Yeah, that's what's up. Anyways, so people go there, and now all this strife that's going on in the Bollywood, and they're boycotting it, rightfully so. So that is one of the reasons, why PM Modi went to Lakshadweep, and he was like, we ain't gotta go to that stupid country filled with these stupid people. I mean, just think about it, India has been helping this poor ass country and its stupid ass people for such a long time. And even I have been, in those positions. You meet somebody, you feel like you connect, maybe you live nearby, sometimes you don't, and you just give out of good faith, out of having a concern for the person. Just give them whatever they need, be it time, money, resources. And more often than not, these motherfuckers just, the first chance they get, they stab you in the back or they leave you be. hang you out to dry. They're like parasites. Yeah. And even the size of Maldives and their entire country is just like a parasite. It's a small ass parasite in the Indian Ocean. So, and we have our own, hidden gem in Indian Ocean, which is Lakshadweep. I think we have like 36 islands there. Although the name says it's like Lakshadweep, so maybe lakhs of islands, hundreds of thousands. But I guess over time some have drowned, back when tsunami came and sea levels have risen in past thousands of years. So maybe all those islands have drowned or they have been submerged in the Indian Ocean. But we still have 36 good islands. Yeah. Although, of course, the infrastructure is not there yet. We need to build a lot of things. But essentially, the government is saying that, this country has been on the receiving end of our graciousness for such a long time. And the first chance they get to show gratitude, they come back and spit us in the face. And there's actually not a single reason that we should go to Maldives. We have these pristine natural surroundings full with serenity, beauty, and tranquility in Lakshadweep. So we should go there. And that's essentially what, all those beach pictures that Modi tweeted and shared, that's what he was trying to convey to the people. But that was not actually the, only thing. As I said, it was not only, a photo shoot stunt or a vacation that he went on, the PM Modi. He actually inaugurated a lot of things there. He inaugurated, I think, a desalination plant, made some other programs for the people there to encourage the tourism there, have a lot of state of the art and fancy resorts built there. I think Taj is gonna, make another resort there, which is gonna be probably completed by 2026 or 2027, I think. So in 3 or 4 years, essentially, it's gonna be completed. So that's pretty good. Yeah, I think it's time to, put countries or even the people in your life, my dear listeners. It's time to put people in your life who have been acting like Maldives is acting towards India through trials of fire. Trust what they're made of. See it. If you trust what they're made of, see it. If you don't see it in action, give them a test. And just watch or observe how they perform. Stop being there for them all the time and stop being, giving them everything they need. Start asking for something back. Start asking for help, for the time, for some sacrifice, some effort on their part, and then you'll see who's who's your friend, and who's a fucking parasite in your life or in your ocean of possibilities. For India, right now, that's Maldives. So let's see. So that's all the shenanigans and shits that's going on. It feels good. I don't know if it's best thing to do in the moment, but it feels good that, India is in a position where even, when small ass countries who are completely dependent on us, these countries try to pick up a fight with them, we get to say, okay, fuck you, man. You don't want to vibe with us, you don't want to chill with us anymore, then sure, get your own clique, get your own gang, get your own fucking money, get your own development and everything. Or you can go and get it from China, and then in a couple of years you're going to be bankrupt. But the problem with that is the Maldives people, the Maldivians, will get fucked over by China, but then it will still cause a threat to India. Right? That's what China is trying to do. Sometimes it feels like that's what everybody's trying to do. Even since the British, everybody's trying to suck India dry. Just fuck with India for no reason. China is trying to fuck with us. Britishers and what? Dutch people have been fucking with us. All the countries, like everybody's just trying to take advantage. And for the first time, it's like we are saying, hey, boy, listen, boy, you're not the only one with a big dick. Essentially, it looks to me that the entire geopolitics of the world has turned into a big dick competition. Who's got the biggest dick? Yeah. Who's got the thickest and the biggest dick? Who hangs the lowest? Whose balls are the biggest, roundest, smoothest? So yeah, in this small ass country, they try to act like a pussy, and we showed them. Just keep your pussy away. You got a big dick. We'll stab your pussy away. Stab it into next dimension. We'll stab the pussy into the depths of the Indian Ocean. We got the ocean named after us, motherfucker. And we are the biggest dick around in this ocean. So be nice to us, we'll be nice to you. Don't be nice to us, and yeah, you're gonna get pissed away by the big dick Indians. Yeah. Could you imagine a big, hairy, black Indian or brown Indian dick trying to sword fight with a small Maldivian dick? That'd be weird. I apologize for putting that mental picture into your head of two dicks going to sword fighting with each other. See who breaks sweat first. Let's see whose sword breaks first. It surely ain't gonna be India. Not anymore. Not on this century. And fuck you. Fuck you, Maldives. Fuck you all in the small holes in small minds. That's what you got. So yeah, that was the entire situation. Let's see what it goes. The Maldives, people are even saying that India should withdraw its troops or our army and military presence there. I mean, these people don't even understand the basics. Like, Indian army is not actually there only to contest China. They use Indian army to manage all the trade. There are a lot of piracy going on in the Somalian region. There are a lot of smuggling going on. And of course, Maldives ain't got no military. They cannot even project power in their own territory. So that's where Indian comes, right? Indian soldiers, we got bunch of helicopters there, some big, I think, ship there, which is parked there as well. So these are things we use to keep their own trade safe. And these people say, get out. We don't need no protection anymore. We are big boys. We might not know how to change our own fucking diapers, but we are big boys. Yeah, stupid people doing stupid things. I hope may they go on an adventure with the real truth and see what they're made of, which is sand and dust. And one water wave will come, sweep your entire country away. Think about that. Maldives, insist, they are one big tsunami away from being erased from the map. Yeah. Speaking of tsunami and not being able to erase, let's talk about Japan. Japan got, I think, right on the first or second day of this year, they got hit by 121 tremors, which was actually, bunch of earthquake divided into tremors. You have the shock, first shock, the aftershock. Then when it comes back to the center, there's another wave. So all in all, it was, I think, over 120 tremors. And luckily, there was not a great loss of infrastructure or life. At the time I saw the news and everything, less than 100 people had died. And that was a huge earthquake. It was like 7.6, I think, of the order, which is actually a crazy number. That kind of earthquake hits any other country in any other city, half of the people are going to be dead. I mean, even in Delhi, if you go to some of the places where houses are actually just stacked on top of one another, and they don't even have foundations. These houses I've seen, they are just standing by the support of the house next to them because their walls are completely joined. So if one falls, all of them falls, and everybody's gonna die because they don't have exits. They're not built with, of course, all the government mandates. People just give bribes and everything to get their blueprints sanctioned. And yeah, but luckily, of course, since Japan does get a lot of these earthquakes, and people are not stupid there. People understand that even if you can construct a building without all the earthquake resistant technology, all the rubber pads in the foundation and everything, it's only you who's gonna get hurt. If you are living in a building which is, so prone to earthquake and which has not implemented any technology to mitigate the damage, then the person who's inside the building is gonna get fucked. If your house falls over you, you're gonna be dead. It's not gonna actually affect the government in any way. But people don't understand it. Not in India. Lucky for people in Japan, they do understand it. And yeah, I could see the buildings were just swinging like weed, like, yeah, fields, fields of wheat in the wind, the way a plant or a piece of grass just, bobs left and right, to and fro. That's how these buildings were shaking. But they didn't crumple. That was funny. Yeah, and I was, you know, few days after the earthquake had hit, I was in what? Having food, having some biryani with a friend of mine in the old Delhi neighborhood, the Purani Delhi, the area surrounding Lal Killa and Jama Masjid and all those places. I was having food there, and they had so what clustered homes. I felt claustrophobic. I mean, these homes were also built in a way that I don't even know if sunlight gets to the ground in these places. You might have heard sunlight not reaching the ground in Amazon rainforest. But maybe you should go to the place near Jama Masjid. That's where you see, holy shit, man, the sunlight is not reaching the ground. The way these houses are made, they're stacked on top of one another, just like a sack of potatoes. Have you seen people throwing around sack of potatoes or bags of cement? There's no fucking symmetry there. They just put them on top of one another and leave it be. Leave it to chance. If it falls, it falls. If it don't, hey, good job, good day. You get paid. And I was thinking, man, holy shit, I'm eating this sweet ass chicken biryani right here, which was good. But if any, like even any kind of earthquake, which is even smaller than 7.6, if it hits there, I mean, probably whoever is not on the streets or out in the open, they're gonna lose their life or at least get severely damaged, might even lose some limbs. And I don't see all these giant, thickly populated neighborhoods getting any kind of, complete overhaul and reconstruction done to meet all the safety standards. Even if there's a fire, most of these places, don't even have shafts or open access. That's silly. I mean, think about it. If you have only single exit and entry, and that place is on fire and you cannot get to that particular exit, are you supposed to just get microwaved? Well, it won't be microwave. It would be actually an oven. Yeah, you put pizza in the oven, you put chicken in the oven, but due to your own stupidity, now you are inside an oven. And since you couldn't be bothered to do the thing right way, well, your right to life might be taken away. Right in this situation. That was poetic. Right? Sometimes even I surprise myself in many different ways. Sometimes I was just rambling on and on and on. I'll say something. It feels like eureka. Holy shit, man. I should have written it down. I mean, luckily I am recording it, but yeah. So that's that. Anyways, so that was a fun time. Maybe we should, be more serious about the way we do things, the way we build infrastructure. I recently, saw a clip that the main Masuri highway, that's actually losing its most of the foundation. If you go to certain places which especially have been damaged by the weather and erosion and river and everything, you just see the black tarmac over there. I mean, there's nothing underneath the black tarmac. The layer of charcoal that you see, the black part that you drive on, there are no stones underneath it. At a lot of places, the structure starting to what succumb to the wear and tear of nature. There's just a small, in that particular picture I'm talking about, there's just a small network of what TMT bars which remain under the tarmac, and everything is gone. Yeah, literally, like it's just hanging. It's just hanging there like it's a fucking bridge. And yeah, so maybe we should, pay attention to the quality of infrastructure that we're building and not just keep building. Because that's China's things. Most of the infrastructure that China build, especially even in other countries, be it their Belt and Road Initiative or the String of Pearls, these infrastructure is not actually, built with best of the safety standards. I mean, China is so sinister that, when they go to places like Maldives and Sri Lanka, of course, they're gonna use their own technology and machinery from the country to build all the infrastructure, but they don't even use the local population. They bring their own people from their own country to do the thing, which is of course not great, because then you do not generate employment for the people there. That's something that not a lot of countries do. China do, of course. China does things the way China does things. They still haven't, dropped down from the dick and balls of Mao Zedong. They're still sucking on that dick, still that dead man's dick. Yeah, maybe that's why they're starting to collapse. Follow a bloody communist, he'll leave you nowhere. Yep. If only people in Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Kerala could see that. You follow a communist, the motherfucker himself is gonna be rich. He's gonna have all the resources. It's you who's gonna be sucked dry. I mean, in some cases you might not be sucked dry. You might get a bunch of lashes on your back and you might be left in the sun to dry. That'd be a sun-dried human being. Who knows, they might even make jerky or what? Fried or dried snacks of meat out of that. You have these potato chips, you'll have human chips. Yeah. Before I digress any further, let's come back to Japan. So on top of this, they had another on the terminal in the Japan International Airport, flight collided too, and it was, I don't think it was actually a direct result of earthquake. Maybe there were some electric failures in the infrastructure of the airport, so planes but not visible, but essentially, yeah, that's what happened. Two planes collided. At the time there were no casualties of the passengers. I think crew did get hurt, but luckily passengers were mostly fine. So that's that. Japan is actually, makes me think heading for a maybe not such great of an year. Lo and behold, if now China wants to do something in the region, holy shit, they'd be worried. It's not a good luck charm for them. And as a result of this earthquake, people were even anticipating tsunami in the region. And the Japanese authorities were prepared. I saw some people doing mock drills and everything. Because that's what happens, right? The ground or the continent plates, when they move on the land, you get an earthquake. But if they happen to move underwater, a huge earthquake underwater essentially leads to a tsunami. And Japan is no stranger to tsunamis, man. How no? Even their food is not. Who knows, sometimes, you get 100 feet wave, it might knock out a few buildings, take out some people, but might even bring you fresh food. Think about the fish. The fish thought, holy shit, man, I'm just swimming here and there. I can go up and down, but I cannot escape this realm of water. And suddenly, that water itself throws you on land. He's like, go fuck yourself. Yeah. Makes me think that Is tsunami to fish what tornadoes are to humans? Because we breathe air, right? We live in air. We live on land, but we live in air. And air, tornadoes, cyclones, they have the power to actually just pick up not just human being, but lift cars from the ground and just throw them hundreds of feet or even kilometers away. Same for the fish. They live in the water, they breathe the water, but sometimes water can get so energized in a particular situation, it'll throw him somewhere away. Now, tornadoes will throw us in the water, tsunamis might throw fish on the land. So that's crazy. That's crazy. Think about it. Are tsunamis to fish what tornadoes are to humans? Catastrophic both, of course, both are. So yeah, Japan is hopefully they could do good, you know. Hopefully they only had some bunch of broken roads, very small amount of casualties, and they recover pretty fast. That's the thing about Japanese, man. They are resilient. Even on that small ass island, they are just growing. They're not ceasing. Technology is growing there. They're managing life. Try to manage or mitigate disasters, but there's only so much you can do about it. You know, natural disasters is one of those things where you can say that prevention is better than cure, and there might not be a cure in a lot of cases. For instance, in case of a volcanic eruption, what the fuck are you gonna do about it? How are you gonna cure it? Huh? How are you gonna cure that thing? The fire just comes over. It's molten metal, thousands of degrees of Celsius, just burns through everything. Either the lava is gonna run out or the magma has to meet some crazy ass large body of water, usually a ocean or a sea. That's where it stops. But out of, most, I would say, out of most bad things, there are some good things. For instance, in the case of lava, all this lava that flows out of the ground, comes out from the magma, it is rich with minerals. Often we find in the lava rocks and lava beds, lake beds of these lava, magma, volcanoes, you'll find precious minerals, even in gemstones, diamonds, sapphires, crystals, and everything. Because, of course, that's essentially a part of soil, right? Because most of the minerals that we find in soil, which are useful to us, which are useful to plants and everything, they, where do they come from? A lot of them are just part of our magma, and through the cycle of repetition, the top layer gets mixed with the bottom layer, and then there's a volcanic eruption. So then the bottommost layer, which is molten, it comes out on top. Then the top layers get pressed down, and so on. It's a cycle, you know. Back in school, we were taught about the water cycle, but we were never taught about the volcanic cycle. People don't actually, I don't even think people knew back then. Because essentially, what Earth is, we are not solid. Most of the Earth is liquid. This ground we walk on, this land that this house or this what room is built on and everything, we think it's solid ground, and then we have water everywhere. But actually, the entire surface of the crust of the earth is floating over a boiling hot pool of magma. That's why we get these earthquakes, because if everything was solid, we wouldn't get these earthquakes so much due to the movement of, we are being told due to movement of continental plates and these tectonic shifts, they cause earthquake. But why would solid plates move? Well, those solid plates move because they are not actually solid. Well, they are solid to the point they are, but most of them are floating. They're not floating on water. They are floating on an ocean of molten metal, which is why Earth changes its shape so much. Because essentially inside is just liquid. That's what's up. So yeah, that's enough about geography. Before I run out of my time, let's talk about two more issues. Speaking of planes, we mentioned the Japan thing, but I saw that mid-air, a flight of Alaska Air, which I think was a Boeing 737-9 MAX. That was the model of the plane, which has been prone to problems. It has been prone to problems ever since its introduction back in 2018 or 17 or something. And after a couple of problems, like this entire model of Boeing aircraft was grounded. Everybody in the world was told that do not fly this particular plane. You can fly other models. You can fly Airbus, even Boeing 700s, A700s, but not 737-9 MAX. And after 20 months of being grounded, that plane or the company itself was given the go ahead that you can fly these planes now, and whatever problems we have fixed it. Well, apparently not. I mean, I don't know if somebody died or not. I don't think anybody did. But during a flight, due to all that air pressure and everything, an entire gate blew out of the fucking phone or the plane. And I saw a video like a passenger was recording, and it looked fucking insane. It looked, when you look out the window mid-flight, especially when you're high up in the clouds, you can see parts of space. Well, not space itself, but you can see, oh, we are above clouds, and if it's night time, you might be able to see some stars. You can see the lights at the bottom. Some people even have seen northern lights right at the level of plane, the aurora borealis. But this video showed that you can see stars out this gate, this blown gate, and the flight is still but thousands and thousands of feet up in the air. The guy who was sitting right next to the door, I think his entire t-shirt was ripped off, because that's how crazy the pressure of air is at that altitude and at that velocity when you're moving through the clouds and upper parts of the atmosphere. Think about it. You're sitting in your chair. You're going somewhere. That rhymed. So let me say it again. You're sitting in your chair and you're going somewhere. You might even be doing your hair. And the fucking door of the plane blows off. And your entire t-shirt gets, torn from your body. I don't know if this suit might be able to get torn, but who knows, the suit might even drag me out the window. Luckily, I wasn't there. But yeah, his entire t-shirt was just ripped off of his body, as it like some elephant or something had just torn it away. And he sustained some minor injuries. Minor. I don't even want to talk about the trauma. Holy shit, man. These are the things that scare me about air travel. Being in a terrain where human beings cannot do shit does not just sit well with me. Does not sit well with me. So that's that. Yeah. Of course, statistically, air travel is way safer than train travel or even road travel, especially, right? People die on roads all the time. In India alone, we lose a little less than 2 lakh people lose their lives on the road every year, which is a crazy number, right? Of course, that speaks about the incompetence of drivers on the Indian roads. People just, people suddenly just run into some money which they had not seen before. They buy these crazy cars without much experience, and they go to unholy speeds, man. Crazy speeds. Sometimes I think I have talked about that on a podcast. I'm just standing in the balcony. I just see motherfuckers right by so fast that I can hear them about 15 seconds before I even see them. And I'm not talking about the sound of their engine, because these idiots are not, driving Ferraris and Lamborghinis. I can see the wind moving, or rather hear the wind moving 15-20 seconds before I can see the bloody car. Holy shit. And I can't even imagine what these people are doing on highways. But it's not just that, of course. We have a lot of random animals or people who will walk in the middle of the road like they have been touched by God or something. I don't know what these people are like. That's what I wonder. I mean, sure, animals are crazy, but people who just jump onto running highways when you can actually clearly see a car in the distance, even if it is in the distance, because on highways, especially when you're going 100, kilometers an hour, the car might look way far away, but at that speed, it's gonna catch up real fast. And people just walk on roads. I don't. Are these stupid people? I mean, stupid people. I shouldn't even call them stupid people. They don't even appear to belong to the same species, man. They don't even look Homo sapien sapien. Sapien sapien. They might look Homo, but not sapien sapien. Yeah. Or maybe these people have never even seen a fucking car. That's how, what, removed from society in modern society are they? They don't even know what a car is. Oh, it's an object. It's coming at not such a high speed. Even if it touches me, nothing will happen. And boom, boom. That's the last thought you ever have before you learn how to fly. Yeah. Because that's what's gonna happen. Some crazy people who are not, paying attention to the roads, or they're going 150. Even some I've heard people just talk about it. Oh, we did 200 kilometers on this road. Well, what these people don't realize, even if your car can do 200 kilometers, does not mean your body can survive a crash at that speed. And it doesn't even say that the road is meant for such speeds, right? I mean, if you give me a Bugatti Veyron, which can go up to 400 kilometers, I'm not gonna fucking take that thing to 400 kilometers on Yamuna Expressway, right? When people set up speed limits of the road, for instance, Yamuna Expressway has 120 kilometers an hour, and that's fast enough for speed. Usually, I don't even drive at 120. I get to 110, 115, and I stay there. Not just because of getting a speeding ticket, but also because you just put your window down at 100 kilometers an hour, and the voice of the wind that breaks into the cabin, they'll show you that you should not be going at this speed. That wind itself will tell you that this is not gonna be good. It's I mean, I hope it ends well, but it might not. So you should slow it down. And so that 120 kilometers is not just the speed limit you can go, it is also in some cases. Usually it's not. It's much more common in Western countries, but even in some cases in India, that road limit, that speed limit on the road, is actually also the limit of the road itself. The structure of the road, the friction that this road offers, it's only meant for 120 kilometers. And that's why people blow out their tires at crazy speeds, because the road itself is not meant for that. If I have a Bugatti Veyron, I'm gonna fucking go to the Budh International Circuit. That's a bloody racetrack which is designed for insane speeds. It has all the traction you need. It has all the perfect condition of the road, nicely paved. It will give you the friction when you want to hit the brakes at those crazy speeds. Yeah. Sometimes I feel like I'm just babbling and rattling for nobody. Who's gonna take the wisdom and truth from this person? Everybody should, or at least everybody should think for a second what this person is saying. But yeah, people don't take tigers seriously. People don't take tigers seriously until, of course, the tiger gets in their face, and then they don't have much to say other than ooh, nah, boo, fuck you. Well, fuck you too. So yeah, that's that. Holy shit, man. We didn't even get to talk about the stupid ass truck drivers and their stupid ass protest. I mean, after farmers' protest, this is very similar, although this is, I think, even way more stupid in a lot of ways. So before I wrap this up, I'll just, give you a quick brief on the topic, or rather where I stand, and then we'll have a full discussion about this trucking and protesting situation and this hit and run, what, additional or new law which gives them possibility of 10 years of life in jail. So all I want to say about it for now, before of course we do a deep dive on the next episode of Adventures with Truth, it's funny, right? Often I see people most normal people, rightfully so, they complain that we do have all these laws in our country, but they are not enforced properly. And some laws are downright idiotic. They're stupid, they're barbaric, or they're medieval. They don't even make sense in today's world. And on the other hand, the moment actually government takes some step to increase the safety of people on the road, or you know get a better, what do you say, better obedience on the law and order, better structure for people, some of those very people who have been complaining about the lack of law and order start protesting. India might be, one of the only places in the world where people protest when government make laws for people's own safety and well-being. And on the few occasions where any government, or especially Indian government, is trying to do something for the people, they're trying to be, trying to be competent in what they do. They're trying to do the thing that they were elected for. On the rare occasion when people are doing that, the citizen itself will start to be an obstacle. I mean, I definitely, support this new law, which is, of course, if due to your running away or you being unable to inform the authorities, somebody dies on the road, well, the law should have provision to send you to jail for 10 years. And this is not to say that, of course, the 10-year penalty will be implemented in every case. There's also a fine. That's why we have these fines in India as well, which is tied with the court system. That you can either get fined of this amount or you can go to jail. And the court should decide on a case to case basis. Of course, most of these cases are pending in India, like lakhs, if not crores, yeah. Crores of cases are open. Mostly I've seen a lot of judges, instead of serving justice, they just serve their own fucking ego. Especially these, tribunal judges or even high court judges. They don't serve justice in all cases. Often, they serve their own fucking ego. But at least, the provision should be there in the law. Now, whether law is being implemented or followed properly, that's a different statement. For that, you need to not only, make the law harder, but you actually need a cultural shift. You need to change the way a society thinks. And of course, some things are changing, but we are far, far away from the great Bharat we should be. From the great Bharat, the great India, the Hindustan we used to be hundreds of years ago. We have a long road to go. And that too only if it's possible, because I don't even know if it is possible. Sometimes it feels like we have strayed so far away from the path that we're just going to be running in circles instead of walking the path. Yeah, that's what's up. Quite a start to the new year, I would say. You know, how's that for 2024? How's that for 2024? And we have not even started talking about the election and all the propaganda and politics that's going around it. And make no mistake, people, this fucking truckers rally, that too is a part of politics. It's the propaganda by the Congress. Let's hope, people see through it and their protests go down. Because of course it's not right for just a bunch of retarded, motherfucking, illiterate, stupid, good for nothing assholes and truckers to just block the Indian highways and fuck up our economy, fuck up our food system, and fuck up our chain supplies to protest. Protest is welcome in India, or in rather any kind of a free democracy, but you just cannot take away other people's right to work, to have food, to get things delivered by just choking the arteries of the country. Yeah. These two are the kind of people I would like to kick in the fucking head. And once again, kick them in the head when they're down. Just like that Maldivian bitch. Somebody should kick her in the head. Yeah, Just like, a couple of years you saw Arvind Kejriwal got this tight slap across his face. I mean, the man almost started to cry. Eh? That's the kind of slap that, should be thrown out to certain politicians. I'm not saying I hope it happens. I'm not saying people should do it. But it will give me some peace to watch it happen. Somebody go and kick that Miriam bitch in the head. Yeah. Fuck you, Maldives. It's time for Lakshadweep. Yeah. I haven't been to Maldives or any of these exotic destinations. Went to, I think, Hua Hin once, long back, long in my childhood. Hua Hin is this place. It's also tropical, but luckily it's in a country which has not been hostile towards India, and luckily that country is in the vicinity of China. So they know what the fuck China is about, and they are all ready to tie hands with India because they know what China does. But these stupid Maldivian people, they're just little too far to realize the devil with whom they're trying to make the deal and letting us get silent. Well, I hope they come to their senses, and if not, I hope India sets them straight. India sets them straight. And you too, the listeners, the audience. If you find those people, as I mentioned, in your life, give them a piece of their mind. Yeah, before you give them a piece of your mind, give them a piece of their mind. A piece of their mind is how you see it, how you think about the truth of that mind. Have you gone on that adventure and seen the colors that this mind is trying to paint into your life? And maybe you will not find any people you would want to remove, or people who have malintent towards you, or who you might want to kick in the fucking head. Yeah. Hopefully you don't have to. You can just cut those people away. Otherwise, just join a soccer team, practice your kicking skills, then join some martial arts, learn how to throw your kicks at a higher level. Start, well, yeah, I wouldn't want to say start causing violence, but sometimes getting a bitch slap or a kick in the head might just help people to stop them from doing further damage. So let's kick Maldives out of our tourist destinations. I mean, I hope it's applicable, or rather clearly understood at this point. I shouldn't even say it. Let's see how it goes. And on that note, people, I shall bid you farewell. Let's hope the next week is better than this. Once again, Happy New Year, especially if you're seeing this episode without seeing other ones. I'll see you next time, people. Be kind, be wise, be smart, be ferocious. Listen to the tigers around you. Pay attention. They might just, be the wise ones around. And I'll see you next episode.